I want a renaissance to shine a light, be the change we want, set things right. We've been waiting in the dark for so long.
Hi everyone, I'm Amethyst, and let's talk about Autism Acceptance Month. Well, here we are again. April is almost upon us, and as many in the autism community know, April is when Autism Speaks comes out with a vengeance with their autism awareness campaigns. The Light It Up Blue campaign, in which people purchase blue light bulbs and worldwide monuments are lit up blue, and of course this is supposed to raise awareness for autism and then to raise funds from that awareness. April means those sad and negative and really pessimistic campaigns about autism, those terrible commercials, Light It Up Blue, all the Autism Speaks rhetoric, cure culture going on, all this focus on the suffering of allistic parents of autistic people, all this focus on we need to find a cure and comparing autism to a disease or an epidemic. It is all very negative and frankly gives me a headache too. What is an autistic and our allies to do? But something I love about the autism community, autistic people and our family members and our loved ones and our allies, is that we can take this really negative Autism Speaks brand of awareness and turn it around. I'll put a bunch of links in the video description. So if you want to read up on the history of Autism Acceptance Month, please do. But basically the idea is Autism Acceptance Month is to combat and also to complete Autism Awareness Month. Because awareness, in theory, is great. People should be aware that autistic people exist. The problem is when awareness happens without acceptance to balance it out, or without real education. And sadly, in the case of organizations like Autism Speaks and other non-autistic or parent-led organizations, their awareness is often misinformation. So while I think most people who light it up blue, or who wear autism awareness shirts, or who support Autism Speaks are coming from a place of love and a place of wanting a better world and a better future for their children, it's really going about it the wrong way, because what this awareness has done is made people aware of autism all right, aware of how they should be scared of it, aware of how having an autistic child will destroy marriages and tear families apart, and people are certainly aware of what non-autistic people think about autistic people, that we're sick, we're kidnapped, we're missing, we're broken, that we're suffocating under this layer of autism that parents somehow have to fight and combat. And all that's really negative and all that's untrue. And this is what's happening, is that this awareness without real education and without any love or acceptance is actually contributing to the stigma and fear of autistic people. This culture of cure, this negativity, this Autism Speaks rhetoric actually hurts the autistic community. And instead of generating what should be acceptance and awareness, you get awareness and fear, or awareness and anxiety. And when absolutely everything you hear in the media and on the news and from Autism Speaks is about how tragic autism is and how autism devastates families and how autistic people will never lead fulfilling lives and that we can't love and that we're absent and we'll never connect with people in a meaningful way, that actually contributes to the abuse against autistic people. It contributes to and kind of justifies the mistreatment of autistic people. And it really does justify these really awful, not scientifically sanctioned therapies and treatments that people use to try to cure autism. Because the message that comes out during Autism Awareness Month is really that autism is worse than death. That having an autistic child is one of the worst things that can happen to you, and that's why we need to find a cure. Autism Acceptance Month combats that by giving a much more balanced and much more holistic picture of autism and what it is. The Autistic Self-Advocacy Network is involved in Autism Acceptance Month, and their goal is to spread real education, what autism really is, and what people with autism spectrum disorders are like, and what it is that our goals are. For example, most parents I know want their children to be able to get an education. They want equal education opportunities for their children. Awareness, not going to bring us there. In fact, awareness on its own with that fear and that misinformation that's getting spread might actually hinder autistic people's attempts to integrate into society and to be accepted, because there's the awareness without the acceptance. Autism Acceptance Month is also a great time to actually highlight autistic people rather than non-autistic people talking about us without us. So in April, for Autism Acceptance Month, lots of our allies and our parents and other autistic people, more and more every year, are taking to social media like Facebook and Twitter and their blogs, and they're pointing people in the direction of actual autistic people who are speaking about their experiences, and organizations led by autistic people like the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network and the Autism Women's Network. And in doing this, in amplifying the voices of actual autistic people and giving them a platform to share their experiences, you're spreading not just awareness that autism exists, but you're enabling people to see autism from an autistic person's point of view, to understand us and to realize that we are full, whole people, that we possess full personhood, that we deserve the same rights and opportunities as everyone else, that we have feelings and we have thoughts and we have motivations, that non-speaking autistics, while they might not be able to communicate with their mouth parts, they are communicating via AAC. There are non-speaking autistics who have blogs on the internet. There are non-speaking autistic advocates who are campaigning for a better, more inclusive, more accepting society for autistic people. You can give people an opportunity to get to know autistic people, because the way it is now, it's a lot of non-autistic people talking about us without us, thinking that they need to speak for us. And that's really not the case. Autistic people, whether they can talk with their mouth parts or not, need to have the opportunity to speak for themselves, and they should. So Autism Acceptance Month is a great opportunity to highlight actual autistic people, to spread our writings, to share our voices, and to let people get to know us. So you want to support autistic people and you want to celebrate Autism Acceptance Month. What can you do? Well, you can go to the Autism Acceptance Month website, which gives lots of resources on what autism is, why acceptance, ideas for activities or events you can put on during Autism Acceptance Month. You can use the opportunity of April and Autism Acceptance Month to share the voices and writings and views of actual autistic people. You can find out if there's an ASAN chapter in your area, because they might be hosting an event or doing something fun for Autism Acceptance Month. And you can donate to your local autism organization, not Autism Speaks. Keep the money local and help actual autistic people and families of autistic people in your area. Or you can donate to autism-led organizations. I'll link to a few below, but some include the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, the Autism Women's Network, and there's a cool research group which partners with autistic adults and does actually really good research that benefits the autistic community that's called Aspire. So those are just some ideas for how you can celebrate Autism Acceptance Month and support autistic people to fight this negativity, this fear, this hate, and to promote acceptance and inclusion and real understanding. Because when it comes down to it, isn't that what we all want? For our autistic children, or our autistic friends, or our autistic loved ones, or ourselves to be accepted, to have the same opportunities for happiness as everyone else? That's what I want. I'll be celebrating Autism Acceptance Month this April and for every April to come, and I hope that you will join me. Happy Autism Acceptance Month, everyone.
I want a renaissance to shine a light, be the change we want, set things right. We've been waiting